That heifer right there just don't even care.
Save yourself now.
Action.
Hey,
What do you say, folks? We'll turn that thing down a little bit. There we go. The camera. Now that we got the technical difficulties out the way, hope y'all having a.
I doubt we've got to take difficulties.
We ain't even got started with it yet. I don't imagine.
No.
That just sounded good for the show.
Hey, Mr. Mike.
Yep. Hope everybody's having a fine Sunday. I know a lot of you down there in Florida, y'all dealing with old rainmaker fixing to mosey on up in there. Well, Lord willing, y'all don't have any issues out of that. Nothing major. Probably more so folks along in bays, bayous, swamps, and all that, dealing with inland flooding, as they call it around here.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Lord willing, whenever that storm pushes in, it'll push in at low tide, and you won't be dealing with that high tide coming in with storm. But we're praying for everybody that
I was going to say, either way, we're praying nothing major.
Yeah. We know they can be aggravating, but whether they do tropical storms or a full-blown hurricane, that's everything in a bind, if you will.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Other than that, we're doing pretty good, I guess.
We're not beekeepers anymore.
Nope. It's over for gunline bees. No more bees in the yard. We're down to 0. Yep.
First time that's happened in 5 years of beekeeping.
We said that here. But, yep.
Great minds think alike.
The little ones that was in the stereo speaker that we did the other day that were so gentle.
The ones that we moved in the church house, they killed their queen.
They sure did.
Drug her right out the front door and they were gone. No beetles at all. I have no idea why they killed the queen. It was the queen they came with.
Yeah. They went out there, let's say about 3 or 4 mornings ago, and just took and lifted the lid, go peek in them before we went to work. And I pulled it back and I was like, maybe everybody left out a little early because it wasn't quite as congested. So when we got home, went back down there, checked on them again, and only had 3 frames in there. Pulled those, went to looking at them, couldn't find a queen, nowhere. So when we went into them the other morning, we did that last short video. That's when pretty well discovered.
They murdered the queen.
Took her out, boys. Took her out.
Broke my heart.
Yeah, because it would have been nice to get that line. You talk about some gentle bees. That little bunch there.
Or so we thought.
Yeah.
You know.
Behind
Then they
our
killed
back.
the queen.
Yeah.
So obviously they weren't that gentle.
But anyway, we'll probably, I guess, go get a couple nukes or something around early fall and get them set up. Let them ride through winter. Try to take them into spring, which we shouldn't have too much of an issue carrying a nuke through for winter-wise, or a couple of nukes. But
So what are we running this year? I wouldn't say that out loud yet.
But I got something. It's not scientific. Only one individual I've been speaking with, and that's my right-hand man in conspiracy, Mr. Mike Conlon. All right. We've been chattering back and forth about the possibility of this working, and he sent me what you call it, a video or email the other day and got to looking at it, a website, and looked through it. And honest to goodness truth, I had this particular, we'll say, antidote, possible antidote,
Mm-hmm.
and a mixture of this and that and chicken fat, as the old preacher used to say. But that was going to be a mix, I guess. I was going to try to see if it would unalive those beetles if they ingested it. But undoubtedly, somebody's making it and they're trying to get it approved through the FDA and everybody else. But yeah, so I don't know. Definitely going to try it and see.
Ed said he had to bring a little storm before he went to Texas last week.
I heard that, Bo. Now, I guess on a silver linings note, I finally talked to y'all hear us talk about it, my old buddy Lance down there, and talked to him the other day about, I don't know, what was going on up there because we ain't been at his house either to help him do things. What?
DC, no, we lost both long hives to hive beetles. Total of 3 colonies. One horizontal, the whole thing was 1 colony, and the other horizontal hive we have was 2 colonies, and we lost all 3 of those within a day or so of each other.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then we thought we were saving ourselves getting that 1 call. And then those are gone now. So we're no longer beekeepers.
So
We're not even beehavers at this point.
we got equipment. I mean, that's the silver lining.
Okay, so we're equipment holders right now.
Yeah,
That's it.
we're storing the equipment.
But, I'm sorry. Continue.
I
Just
forgot where I'm
DC was
doing.
confused. Lance.
Oh. He told us to come up there and get them swarms that we got earlier in the season and bring down here. So what I think I'm going to do is just leave them down there right now because
he doesn't have trouble with beetles.
No.
At all.
Well, what saves him is he's got the same soil and the whole shooting match as we do, but every one of those colonies is right on the land mark of his neighbor right there, pretty much just within a few feet of his neighbor's property. But Lance has got 80 acres on one side. The neighbor has got 100 plus acres on the other side right there, and both of them pretty well wide open field except for the tree line of which the bees sit under right there, if I haven't lost y'all. But the neighbors always plant every single year. They either plant peanuts, cotton, wheat, or soybean. They switch out every year. And whatever they spray out there in that field, the only thing we can figure leaches over that few feet to Lance's. And that's what help kills anything in the ground as far as grubs and critters and all that junk. But like I say, we're gonna leave them over there for probably about fall.
Richard, I have to respectfully disagree with the peppermint is a myth because we have used it with incredible results.
Yes.
This time got us because we did not have a day to put the peppermint solution in. That's what got us. So, I mean, maybe you had different results with it, but I just, like I said, I kind of gotta respectfully disagree with you just from our personal experiences on that.
Well, because last year we even went through and tested a queenless hive. There was a laying worker, if some of y'all remember. We had the laying worker and was like, look, we're just going to let them go and do very little to peppermint and see what happens on top of or the peppermint extract. And the colonies, everybody did good when we was in there. And we had intentionally let that letting worker hive go for about 2.5, 3 weeks. We just did one dose, 2.5, 3 weeks passed, went back to check on them, figured pretty much they're dead and gone with the beetles around here. But lo and behold, they were still there. But yes, if we'd have been able to get in there and put it on them, we wouldn't be in this boat. But
Yeah.
that's something I don't know how I can.
We're kicking ourselves in the butt for it, but there was nothing we could do about it.
There we go. Yes.
There was just nothing we could do about it. But either way, like I said, I don't want to start an argument. I'm not trying to be ugly, I promise. I'm just saying, like, in our personal experience, we've had really good results with it.
That's been the superior of keeping beetles out around here. As far as we've tried the bait that you put in there, diatomaceous earth, any and everything along the list, but peppermints.
Hang on, Richard, what? And again, like, I'm not trying to be argumentative, but what test did you hear about being done that showed it didn't do anything? Because, like, everybody that we've talked to about it, has had pretty much the same results as us.
But it's the same scenario. You have got to stay consistent with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go in there and not fool with them for a month like we did. About every 7 to 10 days, if you apply that peppermint extract, you won't see any beetles. If y'all looking early on, whenever we was rolling the hatches back down there, we wasn't but showing 3 or 4 beetles in the whole colony. And this was this year before we got tied up with family stuff. And but once we had that 8-week gap of not even so much cracking a lid on those bees, that's what got us. Is not having that peppermint extract in there, to whether it was a cover scent or they just didn't like getting in it, it being some kind of irritant. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stand with my woman on that. It definitely works for us.
Oh, David Burns.
Mm-hmm. Once again, I have to.
David Burns says beetles walk all over it. I'm sorry, I still have to respectfully disagree.
Yes, 100%.
I don't want to argue, but anyway, agree to disagree. Everybody has different experiences.
It works.
Yeah. For us, it does. Sorry, I'm trying to
keep up
right back to it.
Yeah, well, go. Yeah, we was thinking about you just a while ago, man.
He said
all week, but really, I guess doing this.
He's saying they kind of need prayer because they're going to the service tomorrow, and his stepmom's family is acting up since his dad's not there. We're surely praying for y'all, Ed.
Now, I will say, when we had the happy tablets in there, yes, they help keep them out too. I'm going to say, I agree with you on that. I guess it's a combination of the peppermint, the thymol, the wintergreen, whatever else essential oils they got in there. But I guess once again, and like we was reading the other night, I don't know if you missed it or not, but some people doing studies on it believe that if you have that, it's the same as going out deer hunting. You're not going to wash your clothes in fragrance and go out till you stand the next morning. If you're going to go out to a deer hunt, you're either going to leave your clothes outside for a couple of days, not washed, no nothing like that, or you're going to apply some kind of cover scent so they don't smell you. And believe that's pretty much the same way as if you have that cover scent in there, then the beetle don't even know the colony's in there because they cannot smell the smell coming out of the colony, as far as honey, pollen, pheromones off the bees, things of that sort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right too, DC. There is peppermint in the tabs.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that helps.
But
Hey, Miss Leona.
well, Bubba, we're gonna keep praying for y'all, man. I hope it don't. Hope family can love on one another at these tight moments, but
We've seen them kind of go through rough patches.
yeah, unfortunately, it gets that way during these times sometimes. But
Yeah.
Lord willing, y'all can carry your head high and get on back to the house.
We're just gonna pray for God's peace for all of y'all.
There you go.
For everybody involved.
But
So,
I mean, we got the 30 in here.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Matt, I would not be a point of contention, but I would highly recommend the peppermint and eucalyptus oil that we use. Because if you can stay consistent putting it in and keeping it in there, it made a massive, massive difference for us when we could keep it in there.
about every 7 to 10 days, if you reapply, you're golden, no problem. I mean, we was walking comfortably around here, not worried about them applying it about that time.
Yeah.
So if you can get you some kind of contraption like we got made up, Matt, where you can suck them out with a little vacuum or something other, get what beetles you can see running around, pull them all out of there, run you a solution on your top bars on both sides, close them on up, brother. About 10 days later, go back and add you a little more. You'll be all right.
Okay, so Matt, on the, like when you pop your inner cover on the frame rest, that's where I put it. Like I have a, I think it's a 3 ml syringe, and it's just something we got from the feed store. But I do 1 syringe per box, but just run it down both sides of the frame rest. I started doing that in our yard because that's where our bees would hem up the beetles, like under the little ears of the frames or whatever. So I would just run a good heavy bead down both sides of the frame rest and then a little bit right at the entrance.
A little bit.
Yeah. Like just whatever little tiny bit was left in the syringe after I coated the frame rest. Lee, I'm glad to see you're feeling better. He said he's back to like 99%.
Hey, where's that, Bubba? I know you was ailing there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of folks been running around getting a crud of some sort, so I'm not going to go off on the deep end how some other people around here, like, oh, don't y'all start this again.
Yeah.
But, stay hydrated.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about it. 15S in the phone? No, I thought you were in New York, no?
Washington.
Oh, Mike, like Mike Washington.
There you go. Yeah.
Stone River, we're praying that we can. We're really hoping so. I don't like this feeling. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, we gonna get some more. That ain't no problem. It's just
I'm really having to face the reality of how addicted we are to honeybees. 'Cause it's just not even cool not having them.
I guess technically, if you want, there's what 3 swarms down there. We got at Lance's,
Mm-hmm.
and he told us to come get every one of them. And he ain't but 4 miles from the house here, so I guess technically we're not all the way out of the bees. We're just out of the bees here at our house. And our good brother Lance has helped lifting us back up.
He is.
Fine fella.
But it was still an ugly feeling when he came in and told me they were gone.
Oh yeah, she wasn't happy.
Mm,
She said, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, not yet.
I did.
Well, let's holler at everybody real quick before we get into the grand jumps in the balls. Because we got an announcement this evening. Y'all bear with me.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got an announcement coming up, people. And Dirt Rooster, I don't know if you watching, but me and him texted a minute ago. You are a funny guy. You're a funny guy. I can't say, but
No.
I about fell out the chair when that man sent me a text message. But I'll let you know a little bit about talking with Dirt Rooster a minute ago. DC, you got number 1 this evening. Grayson, looks like you were slacking a little bit there, Bubba. Good to see y'all there. Ed, good to see you again, brother. Catherine. Let's see here. Shane up there in the North Country.
Me again, Joe, and Mr. Mike.
Oh, once again, Mr. Mike Conley. I knew, honestly, I was down there doing the film for the bees, dragging the queen up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly thought to myself, I wonder if I should help her. Then I was like, no, I'm going to let nature be nature. That was my comment, Mr. Mike. I'm going to let nature be nature and let her walk out of that thing without any assistance, just to show the brute strength of one single little honeybee. She can carry the weight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Mike Conley called me out on it. He said I should have helped her get her out of there instead of just watching her fall back down. Right. But that made me think, going back to some of our old videos. Remember, I don't know, somebody had said in the video, you should be helping her or something, whatever it was we talked about a while back.
Because you always film and I do the thing.
Yeah. Need to help her. That's what run through my head was some of that older stuff a couple years ago. But Matt Morris Homestead, good to see you, brother. Randy Tar Hill, Mike Tang Way.
Brian and Jen. I think both the Russells are in here now.
All right. Richard, Bob Walker.
My friend Sarah came in.
Sarah is in here.
I haven't seen her name. But I know she came in and you just haven't got to her yet. They're still too far up in the chat.
I'm sorry. All right, we got through all the Russells here. 2 minutes. You missing somebody?
I know Miss Leona, Pastor Larry, and Miss Jane came in.
Stone River there.
Oh, Lee. Duh. How can you forget Lee came in?
Oh, good grief. No more coffee for you.
Yeah, there was somebody else.
If we missed you, there's Sarah.
I told you.
You told me.
I told you. Just don't listen to me.
All right.
Tell him, Miss Leona, if he just listen once in a while.
You want me to give you my rebuttal, what I do to her all the time?
Oh, hey, Mr. Mark.
What she says, are you listening?
Huh?
Do what?
Yeah. He thinks it's cute.
It
Hey,
is cute.
Lisa. You snuck in too.
All right. We got to get a little. One side says 39, one side says 37. But anyway, there's
Hey,
30.
Mr. David.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
I guess we can get to,
Mm.
well, okay.
Why'd you put a lid on that?
Oops.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies, please. She dropped her spit tube. What you rattling on there before I get the yapping?
I wasn't rattling.
I thought you was pointing at something.
Because I don't have a computer to take the heart thing off. So I have to deal with it.
Oh. Where's it going?
I don't know.
Oh,
You didn't tell me.
you want to do the prayer list, then we'll get into beekeeping news. And then we'll get into tonight's subject. Or subjects.
Miss Leona said, straighten up, Tim. Don't be aggravating Hannah. Thank you, Miss Leona. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
You're outnumbered.
I can't argue.
Technically, you're not, but
I'm not
you're going to be outmaneuvered by Miss Leona.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Well,
DC, you're going to get in trouble now. He said, okay, I'll do it instead.
there we go.
All right. We got Mr. Mark, Ed, and y'all, instead of just Ed and Miss Chris, just encompass his whole family right now. The Dirt Rooster's dad, Mr. Pat, Miss Deb. I hadn't seen her, but she was supposed to have surgery Monday, so I didn't really figure she'd be in tonight.
If you're listening, we're still praying for you.
We are. Alright, Grammy Lisa, her son and two granddaughters, Bob and his family, Tom's wife and his mother-in-law, Mr. Donnie, Mike Tangway and his family, DC's parents, David Hoskins' granddaughter Emma, baby Luca, and the family that lost their little one. Deanna Wheeler, that's Philip's mentee's best friend, and her son Reed, and then his mentee Rachel Wilson, her sister Amanda, and her niece Riley, Philip's mama, his friend BJ and his wife, and then the Jennifer Brown family, Bobby's Bees and his family, Minnesota Mike, his brother Dave, Aaron Frederick, Mr. Larry and Miss Sherry Gandy, and Mr. Larry's mama, Keith Larimore, Hillbilly Earl, the Paris family, Unsong, who's Bruce with his B's granddaughter, Steve Amos's brother, and that was one of the happy things we heard about this week, that Danae sent me a message, and her grandmother that we've had on here, she said it can be graduated off the prayer list because she completed her treatment and she's cancer free and doing really good. So that about made my little heart explode. I was so happy to hear that for them. Spanky, Israel, and all the war and storm victims. Jake's Farms wife, Sean Baltursa's wife, Mr. Ron, who's Blaine's bee yard owner, TJ from Hanley's Homestead, Stafford Mike, Shaboo, Ricky Rourke, 29 Homestead, my family, Bob Walker's son. And Bob, how is he doing? Good. We hadn't heard anything in a little while. And then Grammy Lisa's friend Lime, Catherine's son and his family, and then the only new addition I'm aware of was Sarah's family. Her brother-in-law passed away this week. So y'all definitely remember them too. And then all of our government officials and leaders of this country.
And if y'all will, we went this past Friday, and just keep our little old church family in your prayers. But the Cates, Cates, Cates family, Mr. Tommy Cates departed the other week, and we laid his body to rest Friday, and he was one of the elders in our church. And you talk about a gentle, loving soul, but made sure people heard about the Lord every time he went somewhere. I don't have time to tell you all the stories, the way I drag stories out, but there's two that stay on the top of my brain of how Mr. Tommy just in love in Christ kept praying for two people, and they ended up, it took a couple years, but the Lord opened their hearts up and opened their eyes, and Mr. Tommy was a big blessing in that part, planting a seed in those gentlemen's lives. But one story I will tell, I want to tell this real quick. But if we go back, I think it was sometime last year whenever Mark Miller was telling the story of shooting a shotgun in the house, whatever it was. We was all getting butt whoopings. Everybody, mom and daddy getting their tails tore up. Well, Mr. Tommy was the one we was telling the story about whenever they was kids. He grew up in Kodak, Tennessee, and he moved down here to the Mobile area in the 70s. But Mr. Tommy was born in 1941, I think it said it was. But anyway, still up in the mountains in Tennessee, in Kodak, Tennessee up there. They still had an old mule and plow when they was coming up. But long story short on that one, that was the one where him and his brother worked that mule all day out there turning that dirt. And his daddy caught them riding that mule back up to the house. And they both got their tails tore up.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the most interesting, and this is a true story. Some people are going to go, oh, you full of mud, Tim, on this one. But this is a true story. Well, Mr. Tommy was a young teenager.
Yeah, like 14, 15,
Mm-hmm.
maybe somewhere in there.
I'm telling you, it's honest to goodness true story.
It really, really is.
Well, back y'all know how grandmas and mamas was back in the old days. It wasn't very ladylike for a lady to come pick you up for a date back then. And granted, this was probably early 1950s, mid 1950s, probably when this happened. But anyway, little old gal was going to come pick Mr. Tommy up for a date. And they were going to go watch a picture show or something. Well, Mr. Tommy's grandma thought that was not very ladylike.
Mama.
Was it Mama?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the women thought it wasn't ladylike for a little old girl to come pick a boy up in a car. Well, Mr. Tommy and them poor, and they didn't have no ride that they could take out as kids. But anyway, the little old girl was pretty well told to go home and don't come back. And
because she was not the one for Mr. Tommy.
Yep. And this very woman, or this little old girl that was picking Mr. Tommy, I'm getting there, y'all, was Mrs. Dolly Parton.
In person.
In person, in real life.
They went to school together.
The whole everything.
Yeah, DC, that was exactly it. She was too forward. But my favorite part, and y'all, these two, they would tell us this story every time we sat down with them, kind of thing. Like, they loved it. But my favorite part of that whole story was at the end, the look on that man's face when he would say, and my mama told her, "You're not the one for my son." And then here come Marie. And buddy, that man, I don't know if I had ever laid eyes on a man that loved a woman that
deep.
yeah,
It's a rarity.
it is. Like it they were a huge blessing, set a really, really good example for a young couple like us. But and they lived happily ever after. He never batted an eye at missing out on marrying Dolly Parton.
Sure didn't. He said, "I'm glad I married Marie and I didn't marry Dolly."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Tommy. But that's still a cool story, man.
It is. But I mean, his wife knew her too, because when he was in his early 20s when him and Miss Marie got married, or late teens.
Late teens, I think.
Yeah, but when Miss Marie went home to meet the family, she got to meet Dolly Parton too, and this was like way before she got big or whatever. But still, I mean, it was a really, really cool story to hear them tell.
Mr. Tommy chose love over money, and the man won. Anyway, y'all keep Mr. Tommy Gates' family in your prayers.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Thought some of y'all may enjoy a little life history of that gentleman. But okay, let me
get your news out.
Got my notes.
Yeah. He's got to fold a 4-inch piece of paper 7 times and shove it down in his blue jeans pocket. Are you serious? You lost your mind.
That way I know what I'll be reading for. Okay. What that light? I don't like that light.
Well, I don't know why you always turn it on.
Because people can't see us if you don't have it on.
Oh, they can see.
No, they can't. Okay, we're gonna get it. What?
DC said, "Hey, let him be him."
I'm glad you on my side, DC.
You got people on your side too.
Y'all my friends. All right. I'm gonna go backwards on the list.
It's what makes Buttons original. Yeah. He's a one of a kind.
Let me get on with this before I get too distracted with things. Dragging this show out. All right, beekeeping news. Finally went through it, did a little bit. Ain't a whole bunch of fancy, but
since when has anything come on bees been fancy?
All right, let's see.
Ever.
Number 9. I didn't do 10. I run out of time.
Why?
Go. But anyway, all right. At number 9, Mr. Rodney Middleton had the humdinger with the well removal. He had the bees in the well around the cement pipe right there. Any of y'all seen that? That was pretty cool looking the way they built up in there, but it looked like that man had a mess between the pillar or whatever it was packed in there to keep the well insulated, all that good stuff. But pretty interesting removal on that. What else you got here? Well, it's a glare. Let's see.
You need a flashlight.
Let's see what this does. Huh, look at there. Made it a lot better.
Lee, I'm adding to my list of things I want you to work on with Tim.
Number 8. Doug from Longman Apiaries believes he got an average of 70 pounds per super.
Nice.
And he's running a dehumidifier because his numbers was up around about 20 or some percent. So he got big, showing up. It looked like a commercial grade dehumidifier in his
Wow. And somebody else in the chat earlier was talking about how the honey's been pretty wet this year. We wouldn't know. We didn't get to play.
Where am I? 8, 7. Cajun Homestead. Old Brad over there in Louisiana. Think he's got a drone laying queen. Got into one of his boxes and it's full of drone bees. Not comb,
This time,
but the boy bee drone.
not drawn out.
No, not drone out comb. So he's going to try to remedy that. So he got him a few queens he's working on. Replace them. Everything's going to be okay. Where was that, 7? All right, 6. Old Todd out there in Loma Vista. Out there in California. Poor fella, he's still battling in there. Giving him fits. Undoubtedly, he's kind of like in the beetle situation, but his version dealing with ants because he's lost a couple as well, dealing with things. So, if you got a good remedy that actually keeps ants out, that you know 100% works, holler at him and let him know either on his channel, something like that. Say, hey man, look, this worked pretty quick for me. You know, try it out if you want to, but maybe he can get some relief dealing with them blasted ants out there. Number 6, DC in here. So I got DC down here. He got the garden looking pretty good. And that was porcelain out there in your garden. Very good on inflammation. Yep, and that's what's on here. But his beans are coming up and all that, but the mouses are giving him fits in the cantaloupe. Yeah. They're out there gnawing on the cantaloupes. So I was thinking DC, build one of them little bucket traps. A little 5-gallon bucket. You walk up there, when they stand on it, they fall off in the bucket. You got a swiveling lid on there. See if that'll work. Maybe you can catch them little rascals and sell them to a pet store for feed or mouse or something.
He said I've trapped 2 mice and a bird.
Yeah.
Stupid bird.
Let's see. Got Grammy down here. She completed her first round of the Master Beekeeping class. Bill.
Ricky's trapped the other night. She kind of made her announcement.
So, congratulations, Grammy.
Absolutely.
Hope pray you do well through the whole deal. And,
Didn't you say this is like the 3rd phase of it or something? If I remember right.
No, first of 3. She just now started.
Oh, I thought she said she was on like the 3rd out of 4 or 5.
I don't
Straighten us out, Lisa.
Let us know. Next here, old Mr. Keith. Is Keith filming? You seen him?
I have not seen him.
Besides him doing them honeybees, I got to notice it looks like he's trying to open him up a reptile exhibit up there. Between the box turtle, then he run up on the copperhead, then all the other little lizards and critters he runs across up there in that fine, fine country that they in.
Man, I could just get lost in the woods up there.
Take me to that creek and just drop me right there, and you'll find me in that same place whenever you come back.
No. You've been on adventuring somewhere. You wouldn't sit still in the woods like that.
Or, yeah, I have to find out where this went to.
Oh, no. DC said they ate one of my baby watermelons, and it upset me.
Oh, we would too. You stinking little joker.
Okay, who's next? Number 8. Or no. Yeah.
Now I was watching. I just had to share this because any of y'all
First
watch.
phase. You were right.
Huh?
Lisa, you were right. She's in the first phase.
Y'all heard that? That is on live TV. You were right.
Eat it up. But
Oh, I am. I am. Yeah. But I had to share this. I mean, watching this video, just Mr. Mike Berry in general, everybody knows, watches him, what have you. But this just kind of, I was like, the gratefulness that the man just said, and I hope not, but I hope a lot of people tuned into this part as well. Or if you watched his newest video that he put out of what he says when he's in there, one portion. But I'm just going to quote a piece of it. But he said it's beautiful examples of God's creation when it comes to beautiful honeybees and what they can do. Just a small part of God's creation, what we're able to deal with these honeybees. And I know in, just his video right then, he was talking about the honey portion. But if you think about it, just that one little portion that we take for granted is really a huge, huge deal in a big, big world. But what we all been waiting for, people. Number one. You ready?
Yeah. I'm trying to.
What you got there?
I don't know how. I was gonna say hi, but I don't know how to say that word.
Oh, okay. Once again, what we all been waiting for, we have finally narrowed down a date and time for the second annual. There should be fireworks going off right now somewhere. But the second annual unofficial.
Oh, I get to take that back. You were not right.
What?
Technically, it's the second phase
that she's going into.
Oh.
I was right about the first part, so
Whatever.
technically I'm still right.
Whatever.
She's going into the second.
No.
Anyway.
She's in the second.
Look, we're burning up time here.
Yeah.
Fighting over who's right and who's wrong.
We never just waste airtime rambling. Anyway.
Okay.
Moving on.
Well,
Joey gave you a drum roll.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. So, it's official. The unofficial, official honey tasting.
Officially unofficial.
And I had that for U.O.H.T. That's the way I was pronouncing it. If you break it, if you break it down to what do you call it, phonetically, or no, that's spelling it out phonetically. What's the word I'm looking for? Just the word.
Oh, acronym.
Acronym. There we go.
That's it.
Yes. U.O.H.T. So the U.O.H.T. is on September 29th. People, is when we're going to do the live honey tasting.
Lord willing.
Lord willing.
That's what we're planning on.
At 6 p.m. Central, we're going to start an hour earlier. That way, just in case we don't know what how many entries are going to come in this year. We had, 12 or so last year?
If there's a bunch, we may even bump it back to 5 or something.
Yeah.
But, so, did we set a cutoff date? Like, have your entries in?
Have it in by September 29th.
Please.
Yeah. September 29th, I guess, be the last day to get it here for the tasting. So don't be like Blaine and get it. He was on the last day.
He was. He hit it the last day. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. Thank you. So y'all email us when you get done doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Email us at the email address there. Stick the line. And we will give you an address to send it to. We're not going to broadcast an address all over the place, but put in your email, honey tasting, and who you are. That way we can, because what we're going to do is do like we did last year. We made a list of everybody
Mm-hmm.
and we can make sure your honey makes it, so on and so forth, because we had, I think, one or two that did not make it after they said they sent it due to the United States Postal Service. And one of them was Sean and Angela Bouter's,
Mm-hmm.
their honey that got basically Mike Tyson punched up in the mailbox, it looked like. Anyway, so
Like, bribes are not part of the program.
we're good.
He said, how big a bottle do you need tied to the water can?
Well, it's kind of funny you said that now. We're going to take the trip down memory lane real quick. Philip in here?
And then we have another one. Yeah, Phillips.
Okay. All right. Because several of you, God love you, we made, I guess, what do you want to call it? A box with stuff in it is what I would call it, but
I mean, I
women
just
would
kind
probably
of
say
put
something different.
everything together.
But anyway, a couple of you sent you stickers. That's on, let's see, that's Sean and Angela up there in Michigan. They sent a couple of stickers last year with theirs.
The gun
Nice little note.
U.O.H.T.
Yes.
Ooh,
Gun lines. You.
oh, wow.
And let's see, who would I did? Sean there. Then,
That's classy. A box with stuff in
yeah,
it. That's what these things.
you like that?
Yeah. Mm.
I'm not going to show you contact info there, Philip. You can put your email in there if you want. I just ain't going to show you telephone number. But let's see. Oh, Philip RTX and a
He
business
said
card.
he's not worried. It's okay. I have Sean's honey, and it's almost as good as mine. Then the trash talking begins.
Who's starting the trash talking here?
Philip.
Philip. Well, I'm glad it was him because I'm going to read the note from last year. So just kind of give y'all a reminder of the ones of you last year.
Mhm.
But Tim and Hannah, here's my submission. The lip balm is not a bribe! Exclamation point. The man leaves.
No, is a bribe.
Oh, it's a bribe. That's right. I'm
He
looking.
owned it.
Yep. I'm looking forward to the contest. My honey is more popular with the ladies and children, so that is my excuse if I do not win. Can't wait to see y'all. See what y'all think about it. God bless Philip and RTX. And this here just when this dude sent this with his honey for a
I
bribe.
haven't seen him.
I ain't seen him in a good little while. Hope he's doing okay. But
Yeah.
when we opened up the package, we thought we had received a wrong billings. But old Blaine sent us. Y'all, that's 10,000.
I thought it was 30. I thought it was $10,000 bundles.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
sent
30,000.
$30,000 bribe to win an unofficial taste.
$30,000 we saved from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Old Blaine sent to us, pretty much telling us this is my bribe. So a $30,000 bribe.
Jack, well,
He still didn't win it, but he ended up with the trophy, I think. But for any of y'all too, in case there's some kind of crazy, that ain't nothing but movie money. But it looks like real $100 bills is what the man sent to us.
yeah, it does.
But it does say movie prop use only. But we got a good kick out of that. We still got our money put back from Blaine, our notes from everybody else. And a reminder, Mr. Dan Weaver was the winner of last year. So he had the bragging rights.
Yeah, his wildflower honey.
So while we're still on that, you got your note over there?
Yeah.
We got our first entry for the second annual U.O.H.T
Oh yeah,
tasting.
it's official.
It's official. So,
Thank you, Robert. Again,
yes, sir. Thank you.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Um,
this was great, y'all.
so this is
great.
the first entry for 2024. So go ahead.
The very first entry. First line. This is not a brag. It's a snail mail super chat. But it was from our friend Sarah. And she sent some really pretty honey. And she thought about us. Because she sent one of the little ornaments from her giveaway. I can't tell which way to go with the camera. But the little beehive ornaments. But, and yeah, I did stick my finger in the bottle already. But that is some amazing. Seriously amazing honey. It's really, really, really good.
They already coming in.
They are.
Sarah's got hers here. It's me again, Joey. Sent a message earlier talking about, hey, where can I send my entry to?
He's getting on it.
He texted me a while ago. And so I got him where, hey, Bubba, send it here and we get you lined up on it. So once again,
we just don't want to put it out on a YouTube live. So email us and we will send you the address to send it to.
gunlinebees@gmail.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're gonna start rocking and rolling it, this people. See who's gonna be the winner of bragging rights. And our taste tester this year is gonna be the preacher man from our church house. Brother Sammy's gonna come by and
again, Lord willing.
Yeah.
That's the plan right now. But y'all know how our plans tend to go.
We talked to him the other day about it, and he said he'd love to. And
oh, that's cheating, Philip. He said for Joey to send his honey to Philip, and he'll send it with his stuff.
Well, that way everything is on the up and up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You need to test it for us, Philip. Make sure it's safe.
That's okay. We appreciate you looking out for it.
Mm-hmm.
What else was I going with the honey tasting? We got Mr. Danwick bragging the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to do that. If we're going to do this annually, I'm going to try to keep the trophy the same each year as the Lord wills.
Huh?
Oh, I don't care. Okay.
You've been going for hours.
I didn't know.
I know.
But, all right. The winner, whoever wins the 2024 U.O.H.T Unofficial Official Honey
I
Taste.
don't know if I like that.
I like that. Sounds pretty good. Whoever wins, once again, it's bragging rights. And we're going to try to repeat the trophy again of what last year's winner was.
Mm-hmm.
So we sent a message. Now we're going to rewind to earlier in the show when I was texting Dirt Rooster right before we started. Told him, say, hey, look, we finally got everything right. When we do the tasting and all that, if you don't mind, last year we gave one of your hats away and you autographed it for the winner. So once again, the trophy will be bragging rights and one of Dirt Rooster's hats.
Can you spell U for us, buddies?
U-O-T-H-T. However, I had it put down there. I had it wrote down somewhere. Probably on my notes. But yeah, it'll be up to you. We're going to have one of Dirt Rooster's hats with the leather patch. And it'll be up to you whether you want him to autograph it, which he lovingly said he would. Or we could just send you a hat from Dirt Rooster without no autograph, however you like it.
But who doesn't want a Dirt Rooster autograph?
Then maybe, whoever winner is, when I talk to him, say, hey, look, it was JoJo from down the road, do you mind sticking their name on it saying, congratulations, JoJo? Either way, we get with him. And he said he'd be happy to do it. And Laura willing, next week or so, we can get that hat ordered and be showing off the trophy to be for whoever the winner is going to be on that. So that's that, everybody. Game on. Send them on in.
Yeah. Sorry.
You okay? I'm going to try to, once again, before we get started on whatever nobody comes in, yapping about this little subject I got going on here. But I'm going to try to reach out to Mr. Bob Benny in an email. And if he has a few months, I need about 15 minutes of his time to pick his brain on how they did some of the professional tasting. Whenever he done it, to kind of see.
We need some guidelines, Mr. Benny.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we did pretty good last year, but the only thing we know of one portion we're going to have to change, and that's going to be the numbers as far as the rating in there. And
I can't believe you bees, Mike, said I want an autographed gunline bees hat.
well, we'll start making some of them too.
Yeah.
Who was it? Did we autograph the hat when we sent it off to? Because I think it went to Blaine because Mr. Dan Weaver said to send it to Blaine or something. I can't remember if we autographed on it as well or we just sent it on with Dirt Rooster. But
I remember we signed one. Oh, he said, when I win. There's some trash talk behind that.
oh, there, yeah, he done one.
Yeah, he's got it in the bag.
Y'all bring it on.
But too many people.
Well, hey, we appreciate y'all coming in and joining us and
Look, I don't want to be rude, but I'm afraid I'll butcher y'all's names. So we're just going to say welcome here. We're glad you stopped by.
Hang out with us for a little bit.
Absolutely.
We'll all right.
He's
Go handle that.
on my last nerve with this.
Let me see if I can get this to go. When we did that short the other day, now let me ask you this. How many of y'all honestly picked up, if you watched the short, that thing ended up getting like 7,500 views in 24 hours. Blew our mind how quick, or how many views it got so fast. But on the keen eye, only a few beekeepers will pick up on this. How many of y'all actually picked up on what I was talking about? I know 2 of you did. But was there anybody else in there that didn't comment that seen pretty much right off the bat said, okay, I see what he's talking about? Let me get this going here. The reason I say that is because one of the comments was talking about the duty of that bee and what she was doing. So I got to thinking, I was like, well, besides what we already kind of basic know, what roles are in the bee colony. So if you just do a simple Google search of what are roles of the honeybee colony, it'll come up. You have the queen, she lays all the eggs and she never leaves the colony except for the one time. Then you got your worker, and it really don't go into great detail of what too much the worker does on that. Then you got your drones, and that's where just kind of really just planes out when it talks about the role within the colony. But I got thinking, let me see if I can dig a little bit deeper and see what other roles are within the colony. And many of these we often talk about, but there are several of them that just kind of never really crossed my mind and you don't hear anybody speak of. when it comes to uh, what the job is within a honeybee colony and what they graduate or they're, we'll say, given different jobs in the colony. But just to kind of go on a basic, anybody that's a new year two beekeeper, get into just a little bit of basic part, then it'll get into a little bit finer, as they call it, house bee activities. Then you have forager bee activities of certain ones. But the beehive hierarchy and activities. We'll start off with the queen bee. The queen is like the goddess. Her life is committed to selfless service by being the reproductive center of the hive. She lays all the eggs and only leaves the hive once in her life in order to mate. Becoming the queen bee is a matter of luck. Queens become queens only because, as eggs, they are good fortune of being laid in cells specifically designated for raising queens. Then they are fed more royal jelly, which contains more honey and pollen than the larva jelly that is eaten by workers and drones, allowing them to grow larger than other female bees. Without a queen, life in the hive grows chaotic. The worker bees forage for nectar and pollen less, and when they do forage, bring back less to the hive. When the queen dies or she slows down egg production, worker bees once again designate queen cells and raise new virgin queens. All right, that's just the basic level of that. Then the drones. The drone is the only one, has only one purpose in life, to mate with the queen. There are 100 female workers for every male drone. While this may be appealing to some males, a drone's life is hardly enviable. Drones are incapable of feeding themselves and foraging for food. They lack stingers, then they die immediately after mating. And it just kind of goes on how they're pretty well lazy in the workforce, if you will. So, sounds like a bunch of feminists wrote this thing. I'm just picking.
No, he's not.
I'm not.
He's really not.
The female workers. And oh Lord, if I hear this, you married men, y'all gonna hear it too, but I know y'all ain't gonna admit it. And I don't blame you on live TV.
What?
But it says the female workers. A woman's work never ends.
I've never said that.
She says a lot.
No.
I'm just kidding. She don't. But nowhere is this statement truer than in the hive, where all the work is done by the female bees, which outnumber male bees by the ratio of 100 to 1. Worker bees are responsible for every job in the hive except for reproduction. The female workers often have different positions within the hive. Some are scouts, some are guards, some care for the queen, some produce honey, etc. Below are some of the jobs in the hive. Now, let me go with comments so far on what we got.
Everybody's talking about how Ian married up.
Married up.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Bubba. Ain't nothing like a fine woman.
They were talking about that video he put out, his kids' company.
Oh, I tell you, dude, he's got they worked it very well as a family. I got to say that. And that's one thing too many families don't do much anymore. But it's awesome to see on that. And that's anybody's family. Everybody coming together, doing what needs to be done to make things run like a well-oiled machine. So nobody agreed about the woman thing. It's ain't that.
Nobody's brave enough to make a comment.
I don't blame you. If I was watching and it was vice versa, so if it was Ricky live and he said something like that, I wouldn't say, yeah. Would you sit right here next to me?
Yeah, you would. In a heartbeat, you would.
So we're gonna mosey on into this house bee activities. All right, like I said, once again, I say a majority of this we kind of already go through, but some of it really isn't mentioned often.
Mike said, Ian, did you edit out the fights or did they really all get along now?
Oh, yeah, siblings.
Oh, Stone River's on my side. He said, yeah, a woman's work may never be done, but it would be easier if she had a dishwasher. Boom.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Let's see how quick he changes
Look,
the subject
Look, I
now.
only got an hour to tell y'all all this.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
okay. House bee activities.
Oh, no, Philip said that left a mark. So let's hear about all the women do in hive to keep it running.
Oh, I'm fixing to tell y'all. Trust me. That way, y'all can tell us what we don't do in the hive.
Yeah. See which list is longer.
Yeah. Y'all won. Okay. Nursing. Nurse bees, feed and care for the growing larvae. I mean, that's monumental information right there. We need to know. All right, you got your attendees of the queen. Attendants to the queen groom and feed her frequently. Cleaning the hive. This may involve cleaning used cells or clearing out hive of debris, which we see that pretty often, especially when you kind of start getting into our dirts and stuff like that. You'll see them wax, whatever I'm trying to say, wax cappings.
Did you get into my death wish coffee?
I don't know. Anyway, wax cappings on the ground, things of that such. So there's your cleaning up hive.
Yeah.
All right. Then you got your other ones, cleaning other bees. These chores involve cleaning dust, stray hairs, and other debris of several others in rapid succession. So you got a barber shop pretty much as soon as you come through that door. They cleaning you off, washing your hair, grooming you out real quick, getting the dust and debris off of you. Decon. That way you can mosey on in, take care of business. And this is what made me, this next one, is what made me think of, well, let me dig a little deeper, because I've only heard this mentioned one or two other times. But I think the guy's name was Corey that commented. But undertaker duties. We hardly ever hear somebody saying there's an undertaker bee. Now we know we see them drag them out, but you never hear like, this is what you do. But the undertaker duties, although 90% of bees die outside the hive, those that do not are dropped immediately outside the hive to dry. Check this out. After they have dried, undertaker bees pick them up, fly them several hundred. They're in meters, so Ian's watching. He'll get that.
He said no.
Said they'll fly several 100 feet or meters from the hive, drop them to prevent dead bees from accumulating by the hive, which could attract pests or pestilence. So they dump them outside, give them a couple of days to dry out. Then whoever the undertaker is, it's her duty. Okay, we got too many, pile them up. Sister Susie over here, she's dried out enough. Let me fly her away from here so we don't start getting any kind of sickness or crud going on close or in the hive. I thought that was pretty interesting on the undertaker bees part. Which thankfully this time of the year, the yellow jackets are out and about, so I imagine the ones that actually have to carry some off, their workload isn't so much, then the yellow jackets are being the cleanup crew as far as scavenging around the hive. Building honeycombs. Bees secrete beeswax and use it to build honeycomb. Oftentimes, hundreds of bees will work on the same small section of comb. Then you got the ones capping a comb. Bees secrete beeswax and use it to cap pupae cells and cells from cells full of ripened honey. Then you got your pollen packing. Honeybees collect pollen from returning foragers and pack it into cells for later consumption.
Chicken.
Larimore,
Spoon.
Finley, good to see you, Cam. You may be keeping news tonight.
You missed the headlines, Keith.
What I have been doing this one? Reptile facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, beekeeping and reptile facility as well. Where was that? Pollen. All right, you got your ones that collect it, return it from the foragers, and they pack it into cells for later consumption. Nectar ripening. House bees ripen nectar into raw honey by depositing it into cells and fanning the nectar so that excess water evaporates. Like I said, a lot of this we already kind of pretty well know, but just the different jobs besides you think, okay, the forager goes out and gets the stuff, then you got nurse bees in there doing nurse stuff. Well, what else is going on there? You got to have one's keeping it clean, like they talking about. Then you got your pollen go-getters, your nectar collectors. Then you got your water collectors. Then your ones collecting your different saps for your propolis, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one on house bee activity is repairing the hive. So bees use propolis to repair cracks in the hive and to cover foreign particles that are too large to remove. And Miss Sarah from Sarah's Happy Hive almost had that one of hers not long ago with that bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
They just about, or they was fixing to start propolizing it. Or it wasn't been long they was fixing to propolize that bumblebee up in her box. So it's interesting that, well, if we can't drag it out, we'll just cover it up. Or we're going to make it sterile at the same time. Then the foraging bee activities. Collecting nectar and pollen. Bees visit 50 to 500 flowers to collect nectar and pollen on each foraging trip. They carry nectar in their honey sacs and pollen in the pollen baskets on their legs. Collecting propolis. Certain bees only collect propolis, bee glue, as they have it. Gather the resinous substance from trees and carry it home in their pollen baskets. I bet that's a sticky job.
Yeah.
That will be a little job. They fill their little pollen basket up. Just think about it. There probably ain't nothing to get that pollen out of there. Shake it, dig it out, however they're doing it. But
Sap would be turned into concrete in there.
What it'd be like one of them old Bugs Bunny cartoons where they get the glue and they pull, stretch that glue way on out there.
No tell.
Where was that?
Collecting water.
All right, collecting water. 1% of the bees in the hive collect water. Water helps keep the hive cool and allows nurse bees to dilute raw honey for young larvae. So they're giving them a 50-50 mix too. All right. Then the last one they got on here is the guard. Guard bees protect the hive, sting intruders, and emit a pheromone to warn bees inside the hive of a pending danger. Same thing. Yep. So, I thought that was pretty interesting. Well done with
If you shut the computer,
here we go. It came right back. Well, where am I going back up to? Now, if there's something in here that I missed, let me know. If there's any other duty that is performed in the colony that wasn't mentioned in here that you think of, let me know or let us know that we don't ever speak of. Besides, the cleaners and once again, nurse bees, and so on and so forth. But if there's a little bit more detail into what is actually going on that is rarely spoken of.
Flip said water bees. Was that on there?
Water bees?
Mm-hmm.
You got your water collectors.
Yeah, collecting water.
But it's according to this one, it says only 1% of the bees in the hive collect water. Now,
the rest are collecting food.
Yeah, they out doing other stuff. Now, if there's anybody that like to go check it out, this website I'm looking at, it's called Big Island Bees, Raw and Organic Honey, and it's under the Beehive Hierarchy and Activities.
Ed said he's reading a book that compares propolis frankincense.
Propolis frankincense.
Mm-hmm. Sounds interesting.
Well, I mean, no. Isn't frankincense a sap off a tree anyway? What they break off? If I'm right, because it looks like a little bit.
Oh no, Russell. He said which bee gives the orders to kill my newly mated queen I gave him.
Oh,
that sucks.
Yeah.
That really sucks. What is wrong with you? I just took you out.
Well, let's see. All right. Russell Campbell. Which bee gives the orders to kill my newly mated queen that I gave him? I'm going to tell you what. This may fire some of y'all up, but don't ask the Secret Service. I just had to go with that one on there because ain't nobody going to tell you who it was or tell you the truth.
Okay, go back to the propolis and frankincense.
Okay, propolis and frankincense.
Please. Before you get us shut down.
But anyway, if I'm right, frankincense looks like.
He said you're correct.
A pinkish white, translucent look to it, if you will, from what I've seen. But anyway, they go through and they just pick that sap off them trees.
Mr. Mark said, what about them kamikaze stinging? Oh, man.
All I can tell you, you better have that jacket pulled over your backside on them little girls there, on them kamikazes. Yeah. You'll be running around like, I don't know, I guess some of us wear them jackets.
Yeah.
Bend over and tail end can get exposed and get tore up. Okay.
Yeah. All right. He said, but in the book, the compounds are compared medicinally one with another. That's pretty cool. What's the name of the book, Ed? He said he was going to jump on, but he's in a hotel room with 7 people, so he thought the noise would be on too much.
Oh, you're all right. Well, y'all do y'all's thing, man. We'll yak for another 30 minutes about something. Y'all know us. We'll get into cooking. Mama and Daddy tearing your tail up when you was a kid, or bullfrogs in a slingshot. One or two.
That's your 3 topics to pick from for tonight. Oh, Lord, y'all, please give us something else to talk about.
Well, on this, we done went from, we got about, I guess, got some baby knowledge on the beekeeping part, but Hannah did mention to me the other day, she said, you know what? We need to make another cooking video. So, y'all want to know the crawfish recipe? Or what was the other one we was talking about?
Dude, that's a good idea, Philip. We need a topic wheel to spin. To spin, not spin. I'm out of coffee.
Good.
My brain's not working anymore.
Y'all give it to us, and I'll tell you exactly what not to do.
Yeah. Flips of frogs and firecrackers.
All right, now we on something.
But no, seriously, I mean, a lot of people are like, you want us to do the cooking videos. Y'all have any kind of request on something? Baklava. Now, I've never made that. Good grief, Bob. They're calling for up to 31 inches of rain here from that storm.
Ooh,
Ladyfinger and slugs?
get your floaties.
Right now, I know the ladyfinger are like the little cookie things, but slugs, DC?
Add a
Come
little
on.
salt, you good to go with them slugs.
Don't.
How many of y'all did that as a kid?
Oh, my gosh. No. I didn't do the slugs.
Oh, there's somebody out there that went and snooked Mama's salt shaker, seen them a slug out in the yard, and said, I'm going to go get the salt shaker real quick. Put this
No.
on here.
They knew if the salt shaker disappeared that I was in my granddaddy's tomato garden. Oh, that's a different ladyfinger than what I was thinking.
Oh, firecracker.
It's a type of firecracker.
If I can remember the quotes from the Joe Dirt movie, what is Ladyfingers and something else and something
Joe
else.
Deerte?
Yeah, Joe Dirt. I don't know. We'll figure something. We'll probably end up doing. I know a lot of y'all been yakking about the crawfish. We ain't even give it a name. It's a crawfish concoction, if you will, but you can use it as a dip or
Oh, I
as a
do
meal.
have a really good recipe for homemade. Rodney said homemade banana pudding.
Oh, hey. Let me tell you
We
something.
can do that.
I'm glad. Thank you, Rodney. That is a wonderful, wonderful
He's been wanting
request.
the banana pudding anyway.
So,
Brian said pecan pie. Okay.
you can do that. Because, well, on both of those, you can get Miss Vera's pecan pie recipe. And you already got Miss Sybil's banana pudding recipe. And y'all, let me tell you what, whenever she does the recipe for that banana pudding, you won't ever buy nothing out of a box to make a banana pudding again.
No, it really is really good.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
We can do that though. That's a good idea.
I'm not going to say, but we did go to.
Oh, DC said, "How about a dishwasher installation video?"
we work on that. We can work that out somewhere next year sometime.
Joey said D, all of the above. Oh, hey, Cajun. He said, I love homemade banana pudding.
There we go. I think that'd be
We can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodney said he did another cutout this morning in that huge house.
Oh,
and you know what? We just made homemade ice cream not long ago, Mr. Mark, a few weekends ago.
Weekend before last, we did.
Oh, yeah, do that, Mr. David. Yeah, he said, I just ate and all this talk's making me hungry. Oh, hey, Ed.
What you know good, Captain?
Yeah, I'm kicking. Yeah, emotionally been wrecked a little bit for the last few weeks, but doing all right.
Okay, I can hear you better now, brother. Sorry about that.
To do the audio adjustments again.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying I've been a little bit of emotional for the last few weeks, like a roller coaster, but
Yeah.
so been dealing with that, and I actually haven't wanted to be on any lives or anything for a while. I'm starting to get back where I need to get back into it again. So
we all know what you've been working with, and
well, I was gonna say we missed you, but we understand.
I can say too now though I'm up to 19 hives now.
Awesome.
I
Well,
caught
morning, y'all.
2 days before I left.
That's awesome, though.
So, what, you had another form right before you left?
Just before I left, I had a swarm hanging in the tree.
I heard that.
So, and they stayed for well, actually it's 3 days because it's the third day I was leaving. They were still sticking in the box, so I think they're going to stay.
Let me ask you this. Since we ain't too far, I guess, too terribly far by the way the crow flies, if you will, a couple hours from one another. But have they kicked out all your drones? Because whenever we still had ours a month ago, buddy, they done cleaned house on drones around here.
That swarm I put in the box was 1/3 drones. So they haven't kicked them out.
Okay.
Thursday after he takes Charlie to school.
And they seem to keep going. They seem to keep going out. I mean, they've been active. You know. Well, then again, too, with our heat, they've been bearding a lot too. So,
Oh, it's been hot, though. Nasty hot.
We're gonna be well above. Well, I say well above the hundreds. It's gonna be 102, 105 most of this week. Or it's just temperature. And
Yeah.
whatever the heat index is gonna be.
yeah, they're not gonna like it when I go back. I'm gonna have to go in and check them. I haven't checked them in a while.
Yeah. You better suit up. They're going to be fussy when it's that hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm lucky I have a full bee suit now. So, and,
Yeah.
you know, someone from church gave it to me, and I still got to tape the sleeves because what she got was the sleeves. See, when I would pull down, they pull back too far, and they try to get me. But
Well, if nothing else,
DC's talking about I'm gonna make some grumpy bees. I don't doubt it.
they get you some of them long gloves from Guardian, like Hannah's got. Man, them babies go just about to your elbow right there.
Yeah, they go past my elbow. They come like halfway up the top part of my arm.
But see, I don't like using those gloves. This is a personal thing. I don't have the feeling on the frames that I do with the roller gloves.
Oh, I completely agree with you.
You know, I can see what I'm doing. Oh, and another thing that surprised me, I don't actually know that swarm was from my hives because the queen, she was mated, and she had a black butt, and none of my bees are fully black like that. They're caramel or they're tiger stripes. She was fully black, had a full black butt on her.
Yeah.
Since you said that, let me ask you: did you pay any attention to any of the workers? Were they a bunch of the black bees too, or did they have the more orange, black, caramel black?
They were darker. They weren't. Most of my bees are a lighter yellow and black, but these were a little darker.
I'm going somewhere with this. Just trying to make a small comparison, if you will. But like the colony that was in the speaker we got the other day, the majority of the workers that was in there, those workers were jet black. There wasn't. I mean, there's a few. Don't get me wrong, that was striped. You know, caramel black, a little bit of yellow and black, if you will. But a whole bunch of them, buddy, from head to tail, those girls was just jet black, but their temperament was very, very good. I reckon is where I'm going with it because I didn't know if maybe just that black genetic had a little bit more mild temper, or how was yours?
Well, but then again, too, I don't know. You know, because I don't. It wasn't from any of mine that I could tell from what I've seen in them. I mean, it still could have been, but it could have been that this queen picked up some of my bees from my yard in a mating flight. She went out on a mating flight, come through, and just attracted those bees when she landed in the tree. You know, because they were balled around her, the queen, like they were protecting her. You know, it wasn't like she was in the middle of the bunch. She was in a ball. I actually defined her. When I put them down, I saw the ball. I broke it up to find her. So I'm wondering if she was had been on been out mating or something, and they went and just balled. She landed on a limb, and my bees just came around to cover her because it had a lot of drones in it. So I'm thinking she could have been on a mating flight.
Did
But she
you
was pretty plump though too. So I don't know. I mean, it's just guessing at this point.
mark your queens this year?
I haven't marked one of mine yet. All my queens are unmarked, and they're all this year right now. Because like I said, I lost a bunch of swarms, so none of them were marked.
Okay.
I think the ones that got away from me were the ones that were marked in the hive already. So I got to go back through all of them, find the queens, mark them.
So
But they're all
new.
new.
You got first year queens.
What's that?
If nothing else, you got first year queens.
Yeah. This next year will be all new queens. So you know what's going to happen? My yard's going to blow up, and I'm not going to have enough equipment again.
Well, Lord willing, things settle down a bit for you, and maybe during the winter months you can get you a little here, a little there when prices ain't running so high. Like, when it does, whenever spring and summer gets here, they kind of jack in prices up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to be. I'm thinking I'm going to have to start just building some of mine for a little while so I can afford to actually buy them. Because the only thing I'm going to have to buy is frames, which still is an expense. I can get 80 frames for about $250 shipped to me. So I mean, which is probably pretty standard. It's like $1.20 something, $1.30 a frame.
Maybe, Lord willing, it'll work out to where whatever your honey sales are, maybe you can take a portion of your honey sales and kind of contribute to frames or boxes or whatever you need if it works out that way.
Well, and that's the other reason I need to get back. I need to get back in them highs because I think I have another probably about 400 pounds of honey I should pull if they haven't eaten it all. Oh, yeah. And that's what I'm afraid of. I'm gonna go in there and probably find I've got 100 pounds because I let it go too long.
Are you starting to notice they getting into that dirt already?
Yeah, I think they are because they've given a few when I walked through the yard. I wasn't even near their boxes. I was just looking at it from a distance, and they were coming at me, trying to get me to walk away. So I think it's dirt. The dearth is upon us for sure. And if I don't get that stuff off, I'm gonna end up they will eat it all.
Now, this is something I was going to ask some of y'all too. I was thinking about the other day, riding past these fields, but they planting cotton again, real heavy around here. But I could not remember which genetic or whatever it was of cotton that they pull off of. I know somebody was telling us last year that if it's a certain type, they'll be able to pull some nectar off of it, or if it's not that type, then the bees won't even touch it. But I couldn't remember to save my life what.
Well, I think the farmer that's around me uses when they pull nectar off. I got honey off the cotton last year. So and they're getting ready to start to bloom because they planted them just recently, not too long ago, and they've gone through all this rain and they grew pretty quick, so they're gonna start budding. So I'm hoping that'll take me. Yeah, sorry, Morris. I plan on getting back on Saturdays. It's just that I've had too much going on, and emotional issues dealing with my dad and his passing. So I'll be back in the swing of things here soon. And as far as, like I said, like for the honey, I think the guy I have planting around me, he rotates between peanuts and cotton. What he uses is they get nectar off of it, and so it's like half the fields in one year are peanuts, and the next year those same fields are cotton, and he switches back and forth on those fields.
The who? Oh, the drier weather.
But when
Go
they
ahead.
planted that cotton, it wasn't raining so much, and that cotton looked rough for a little while. I mean, it looked scrubbed. I was worried about it. So
Man, we finally caught a break. We ain't had no rain in about 3 days, but it rained, let's say, for about 2.5 weeks, almost every single day, and we got well over, I'm gonna say, probably close to 2 feet of rain. To be honest with you, I know one week we got well over a foot, and it shot everything up around here. But this past week we got into a dry spell, and it brought all that heat on, and it pulled that moisture right on out of the ground, and it's like a dust bowl again already.
well, Dothan's probably going to get a little more rain here soon. When that storm goes across Florida, there, we're going to get the outside of the bands maybe. I mean, it's not going to be bad. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a little wind and some rain, but it seemed like every day in the afternoon it was raining. So we've been getting our share. You know, I guess he must have missed me talking. He got up in a chair there for a while and watched the screen.
He had to get some screen time in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he hadn't heard me talking in a while.
And now you jack that egg, Jasper.
Mm-hmm.
So I have plans for next Saturday to possibly to be on Saturday. So that's where I'm at right now.
Well,
Go ahead.
if it takes you a little longer, brother, we completely understand. And either way, we're gonna be here waiting on you.
I was gonna say we'll be here when you get back, Ed.
Yeah, y'all just do your thing, bro.
Mom said y'all gonna get some nutty buddies or zebra cakes out of this store.
Oh, a bunch of craziness. Yeah, hopefully that. It looks like, I don't know, I mean, I hadn't checked it since early this morning, but the way they was talking, it's mostly a small wind, what we would say a small wind event, but just rain is what's going to get a bunch of folks for that flash flooding and stuff, coastal flooding.
Steve Amos said he's been on the phone with his brother that's in Tampa, and he's already getting wind and rain off the hurricane. But then VIA was saying it looks like it's just off the coast of Tampa right now.
Yeah, from what they're saying, it's supposed to go up and turn into the where it comes down, Florida comes down and cut across there above. It's going to skirt all the way up to where it starts to go across. And the bands are just going to be like at the bottom, just below Dothan area. Where we're at, what they're saying, their projections.
What is the sustained winds on that thing right now? Anybody know?
I haven't heard about that. The sustained winds on the hurricane.
Emma said there is some wind out there right now.
What's the speed?
Oh, I don't know what it's supposed to get to.
Don't know.
Somebody will let us know in the chat.
Yeah. Are you serious?
But lower wind is just, strong tropical storm, and it won't put folks in a bind too terribly bad.
Steve Amos said fans are in Jacksonville just about hurricane level.
Okay.
So that puts them right around 150 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm. Blairmore said a weak Cat 2 at landfall.
That also, depends how strong it gets by how many millibars drops. It's a low pressure.
Mike said 40 to 50 would gust up to 70 right now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, thank goodness for the people in the North Country that really don't have to deal with the hurricanes. Y'all, we get thunderstorms often down here, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. And I'm not joking. That'll last 30, 45 minutes or an hour. So hopefully this is just pretty much one of those events of just a big rainmaker and, some gusty winds. I mean, you're going to have tree limbs on power lines and things like that here and there, but thankfully just a Cat 1, it shouldn't be anything crazy.
Catastrophic.
I'll be honest, around here, whenever they go, the only time our ears really perk up whenever they get about a hurricane is whenever they talking Cat 2 and Cat 3. Is whenever we really start chiming in. But if they talking about a high level tropical storm or Cat 1 hurricane at landfall, then don't get me wrong, we're observant, but I'm not nowhere near worried with a Cat 1. Not saying they're not dangerous, anything like that.
I go in category 3 and watch squirrels fly.
Oh yeah, holding on that limb, with 2 little legs. See that fuzzy tail doing this.
Yeah, I'm not worried about. I've been around hurricanes my whole life. Cat 3s are. I don't even worry about Cat 3s. Now they start getting above a Cat 3, I hunker down.
Yeah, for sure.
The last one I went through that they lost. They didn't know how strong it was Hurricane Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I lost everything in Hurricane Andrew, and Hugo. Matter of fact, way before
Andrew,
that.
well, both of them was Cat 4. I think Andrew did get to Cat 5 to a point.
I mean, wasn't Katrina with Cat 5?
Katrina, before she got in Atlanta, almost Cat 5.
Oh, so it's slowing down a little bit.
Said it's going to be a rain event for the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Mike said, I see bricks on the lids in my future.
Well, I'll get out there, and for any of y'all too that may have concerns, one thing that I guess may be helpful for folks along where you along the Gulf Coast or Pacific or Atlantic over there, and you're dealing with them storms at any time. But if you don't have a whole bunch of colonies, 10, 20, this will work for you, no problem. But look on Amazon. I think you get a pack of 8 for about $25. But trampoline tie down. They look like a big old long corkscrew. Pretty much them old dog runners that you could screw into the ground, hook at least 2 and let them go. But that's what we use around here whenever we do have a hurricane that is 100 plus mile an hour sustained. We just keep them trampoline tie downs in the ground. So all I got to do is go out there and throw ratchet straps across a colony or 2 and just ratchet it down, and it hunkered. It puts them colonies in a bind, so whenever that wind gets to blowing, they won't blow over.
Yeah, Steve, I totally agree with you there. So I was just telling Sarah Bird the worst thing about the smaller hurricanes or the tornadoes they spin off.
Yeah. Just keep your eyes open, everybody. Be vigilant. I'm not saying don't worry about it. You know, if it's coming into your area, it just
absolutely take precautions. We're just kind of used to it, I guess.
yeah. It'd be kind of like somebody in the planes out there saying, "Oh, don't worry about that tornado, Tim. It's so and so miles away, and we deal with them all the time." And I'd be a nervous wreck, kind of thing.
Yeah. See, Mike, that's what we do. We have the like the tie down stakes that we just leave in the ground, and then we just got like some parachute cord rope that we keep set out for them, and we just tie our hides down that way.
Oh, it works. Even like during the springtime, whenever we're talking about these thunderstorms coming in, and they say, okay, there's 80-mile-an-hour winds in the storm, and there's oftentimes I went out there and pulled that rope out of the bucket and just tied them down real quick till the storm passed.
Well, guys, I'm gonna jump off here and listen to you guys after this.
All are in our prayers.
It's a good seeing y'all, brother. Holler at if you need something.
All right, brother, I'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love all of y'all.
Love y'all too, man.
He's going to be more worried with some two-frame nukes he has. They'll end up in the next colony. I sure hope not, Mike.
We can get you them little old two-framer.
Yeah, I mean, we just got tired of having to go down there constantly and, find something to tie them off and all that. So, was it 3 years ago? Those last two, or that last hurricane came right over us.
Cedar.
Yeah. I think that's when we got the tie down stakes and put in the ground, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it was so easy, we just left them. And just left the rope already cut in the right lengths or whatever for each box. It's just, I mean, it doesn't take us 20 minutes to go out there and tie down all of them now.
No,
so, I mean, it works for us.
If you're not good at tying knots or something like that, go to Harbor Freight and get you some of them ratchet straps for a little bit of nutting, and you can easily cover or hunker down, 2 good size colonies with that. Then that's just one little, I guess, safety precaution that helps us when it comes to them storms coming in.
Yeah.
Because now, well, let me go on this too. Now, whenever Hurricane Zeta did come in here, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
I think it was 3 years ago.
The weathermen, our local guys, was talking about, well, it's just going to be Cat 1, and
At one point, they were saying it was going to be just a tropical storm.
But by the time it come up to Alabama, well, it kind of got the edge of Mississippi down there, and it come up through our county and went over to the county across the bay, and that's who got it, Baldwin County. Anybody ever been to Gulf Shores? I know y'all heard Cayman talk about Gulf Shores, but
then Zeta
got us. That's right. Yep.
Because they were within just a couple of weeks of each other.
That's when they was telling us, oh, it's just going to be a Cat 1. And we're sitting here as it's making landfall. And they said, oh, well, it's done moved up to small Category 3. And we're like, oh, yeah? We in a single wide in a Cat 3. But too late to go anywhere. No, Lord, no. But the Lord kept the house safe. We didn't have any damage around the house. We had trees and stuff like that down, but thank the Lord, He protected the house. And we pray the same for everybody out there going through this,
Oh, absolutely.
whether it's wind or water damage. We're just getting into that season. September is our peak when it comes to these storms. So we really have to start watching out on what they're going to be doing, especially whenever they go to get into the Gulf.
Larry Moore said, sit down, shut up, and hang on.
That's what it was too, Don. Did you hear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there wasn't no running at that point.
Let me tell y'all this while we got a few more minutes to kill time, but during that hurricane, we were still on the fire department. And as she was starting the bad stuff was blowing out of here, we had got a call for power lines down. So me and Hannah load up, dodge everything from here to the fire station on the highway, get the fire
It's
truck.
what, like 3 in the morning or something?
Yeah, it was
Like,
early in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, we mosey down the road. We get the old fire truck. Me and Hannah's lights and siren. Well, we wasn't running sirens, but lights going down the road. Get to where it was, and sure enough, there's a power line and tree laid across the highway. There's a deputy sheriff sitting there too. So pretty much what we was doing is just blocking the road until daylight, and the power company could get up there. So we get out in the middle of this mess, rain jackets and the wind blowing and carrying on. And I go look at that power line, and I see one end of it, and I see where it had burned in half. So it wasn't touching anymore. A few minutes later, I got to walking around, and I went and found the other end of that power line. And I knew in my head I had seen what I saw, but there was still doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So the second end, I saw it burning too as well. So in theory, now let me put a disclaimer: nobody go out there and ever do this. But in my mind, I seen, okay, this end of the power line burned, this end of the power line burned. There's no power going to this wire across the road. So I go to the fire truck and I get what they call a pipe pole. And it's made out of fiberglass, and it's got a little hook on the end of it. It's where we would tear stuff out of the ceilings and things like that while in a residential fire. And I was like, I'm going to get that pipe pole and just drag that wire out of the road so we can go home. Well, little did I know, as I'm bebopping down through the way.
These things that, yeah, don't do the things that run through Tim's head.
Yeah, don't do it. For real, don't do it. I'm just telling you a story of what not to do. And anyway, I'm bebopping down the road with my little pipe pole. And as soon as I went to reach over and grab that power line with that pipe pole, a sergeant had told Hannah, said, how does he like practical jokes? Now, I didn't hear any of this. I'm probably...
No, he's whispering to me. Will he get mad? I was like, no, he won't get mad. Get him. And he said, all right, watch this.
And that sergeant which we knew him, but Sarge pulled out his taser. And I had no idea he was doing this. But as I'm reaching out to get that power line and drag it across the road with that pipe pole, that sergeant come up behind me with that taser. And son, he let loose on her. He didn't stick me with her, but he let loose right behind me with that electricity.
As soon as Tim touched that power line.
Oh, you talk about spooky mule right there.
Larry Moore said, if you ever felt the electricity through your fire boots, it'll straighten you up.
I was not doing it.
Danae said, when DC said, yeah, don't do the things that run through Tim's head, Danae said, yeah, it's scary in there, DC. They're getting to know you, baby.
And you said they
Welcome to
me.
my world, y'all.
Yeah. That's about the
Yeah, Mike. You just gotta know the county deputies around here.
Oh, we got a good laugh out of it after I about pooped my pants. I told him, I said, I said, Sergeant, I said, there ain't many folks that get me on jokes and things like that. I said, but brother, you got me. I got to admit on that. You got me.
It was hilarious. I don't think as long as I live, I'll forget standing in the middle of the highway at 2 a.m., seeing my husband get the dirty words scared out of him like that. I mean, I can laugh, y'all. He makes me jump all the time.
I deserve it. It was payback.
Yeah.
It's just stuff that's been piling up, and she's seen opportunity as well and was like, get it.
Hey, I had nothing to do with putting him up to that. That was all his idea. I don't know what you did to him in the past to make him think of something like that.
But y'all notice in the story, she didn't tell him now. She said, get him.
I mean, what would you say? Steve Amos said hashtag lingerie malfunction. Oh my word.
I gotta change, boys. I gotta change. Well, there he is. Look at him. He moseyed off. And
Oh, hi, Randy.
Tommy's brother.
I'm not going to call him that.
Good to see you, Captain. I like the text message. I'll put it like that that you sent me a while ago. I about fell out my chair whenever you sent me that. I was like, oh my word.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is a funny guy right there. But hope y'all enjoyed your time out together this evening. So,
Philip said the rooster's crowing. DC thought we're talking about the time Tim got tased.
oh yeah.
He almost got tased. I don't think the deputy really would have tased him. Not intentionally, anyway. He just cracked it like really, really close.
Oh, it was enough to let you know there's some electricity involved in something.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Whenever you reach out,
Lord, it was hilarious.
how many ever thousand potential volts is running through that joker?
I'm telling y'all, I laughed for like 3 days straight after that. Even with no electricity, it was still funny. It was hilarious.
We had some good times doing all that.
Mm. Yeah, we did.
What else? We done ate. We done been through the bees. We done been through, what is it?
What?
U.O.H.T. We have got the U.O.H.T. The unofficial official honey tasting set out. September 29th. Anybody came in late, that's when that's going to be. 6 p.m. Central, Lord willing. And email us once again at gunlinebees, Gmail. We'll get you an address to send you entry.
It's the official, unofficial honey tasting. O-U-H-T.
Yeah.
Not U-O.H.T.
Oak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's oak now. We'll get it. We'll get it.
True that, DC.
What's that?
Steve was talking about night watches. He said low counts is always nice.
Mm-hmm. Now,
That is funny stuff today. You can get somebody's attention real quick.
oh my word. You're talking about him flipping some paint.
Real quick.
And mad. You get somebody fired up with a cattle cry.
Well,
Ooh,
oh my word.
Lord mercy.
Yeah. I wish there had been such a thing as GoPro cameras when we were growing up, because Lord knows I could retire just off the footage of filming my brothers. Danae said I was the oldest, so I controlled the problem.
I'm in control. Uh-huh.
Oh, good times, girl. Good times.
All right, Randy, take care, bud. Y'all have a blessed week, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
I don't know if I should open up the door on a lot of the craziness.
Steve said that sounds like childhood trauma to me. Oh man. I think a lot of things in the South that is the norm growing up. A lot of people in other parts of the world would consider trauma, but it was just entertainment.
Well, it sounds like Danae and them's having fun too. The country folks. It
Mhm.
sounds like all of us country folks pretty well did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, the cattle prods. You dare the one idiot to go out there and so-called cow tip. Then you get your people out there. We're gonna do a little bit of snipe hunting.
Oh, yeah. Snipe.
What else? Let me. All right.
Larimore gone. He could have hit you with the snipe punch.
That's what I was going to ask. What is some of y'all's preferred method in snipe hunting?
You being serious right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're out of time, bud. You've rambled 7 minutes past your allotment.
You don't want me going there, huh?
Oh,
Get your plastic bags and a stick.
I don't know. Steve said, Randy, what was the worst thing Tommy ever hit you with?
I'm going to go.
Oh, Lord. Paper bags work best.
All right, there we go. That man's been hunting before.
Mm, yeah.
And
If he's got daughters, I'm sure he's been on a few snipe hunts in his life. I'm sure he has.
look at your girls. Y'all be careful. They some hard little critters to
Long
catch.
dart. That was the worst thing, Tommy. Steve said, I prefer sleeping there in the snow.
Yeah. Steve's out. Y'all can have it.
Yeah.
Done my share of that.
Mm.
If you don't know what it is, Google it. Let us know next week. And if you figure out what it is, get a group of people together, but don't let them know how to actually catch them.
Mm-hmm.
Just take them on a snipe hunt and film it.
Definitely film it. If you don't film it, it didn't happen.
Before we wrap this up, since we on craziness and things like that, and I told you
How do we always end on crazy?
I don't know, it's the best part of the show.
Everybody's delirious by this time of night.
We talk about snipe hunting. We talk about cow tipping, cattle prods, things of that nature.
I have never successfully tipped a cow by myself.
Okay. But remember me telling you this a couple years ago.
That was a long time ago.
And we know this. There's virtually, and I have looked this up and I have not found anybody to do this on YouTube. And if somebody does, I'd love to see this video. But you got people doing jumping mountains on bicycles, parachuting out of things, all kind of craziness that a lot of people would not do. But there's one thing on YouTube that I have not found that somebody has done. And it's an old saying.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Sandpaper. Yeah.
I've yet to see somebody sandpaper a bobcat's behind.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way, DC. I just ain't got it in me. He said it's physically impossible for you to tip a cow. You don't have enough of you.
Hey, look, we sent one of our buddies out in the cow field. Well, we told this one before, but
Kazoos are required to call the snow. I love it. That's hilarious.
hey, we dropped that one old boy off in the cow field. We told him, said, look, Go push that nose right there, and we'll meet you on the other side of the field. And it's probably it's after midnight. We're doing this as teenagers, but one old buddy, he struck out down through there, and all you could see was the figure of a cow. And you can see a human body running full stride toward this cow, like they fixing to put their shoulder into it. And all of a sudden, at the last second, we seen him divert, and he ran over straight to where we was at the other gate down at the other end down there. He jumped in the truck, and he's out of breath, and he said, "Man, that thing had horns on it." Yeah,
Oh my god.
old Brad.
That's what DC said. Make sure it's not a bull. Bulls don't sleep as much as cows do.
Oh, he about got himself on one that night.
Oh my gosh. No.
Let me go back here to some of this.
They also wake up easier. Oh man. Trying to foot race a bull in a barnyard.
You better get a head start.
Yeah, a big head start. Good grief.
Mm,
Steve said physics is not in my favor.
I have more of the, what do they call it, the Murphy Law tendencies.
Mm.
If it's going to go wrong, you can bank on it. Mercy.
Yeah, seriously, DC.
You got the camera.
We'd have got way more whoopings from Mama growing up than we did. If they knew half of what we were doing.
Oh, ain't that the truth? I wasn't about to go home and tell them what I done. Shoot, no. I'm still scared of my mama. Their story still, I haven't told her as a grown man of what I done as a kid.
Oh, yeah, there's things you will never tell Mama.
No, I ain't telling her.
Not at all. Well, we're losing people.
Well, it is getting late.
It is. And we got
But-
kids coming to work with us tomorrow.
Yep. A Wiley man gonna come help Uncle Tim and Henny Brew tomorrow.
Yeah.
See how that's gonna go. But once again, get your interest sent in, folks.
Yep.
I already got one here for sure. Joey's on the way, and whoever else shoots us an email. And,
Rodney said, take it to your grave, Tim.
oh yes, sir.
He knows.
There's some of them I ain't. No.
Um,
That's about it, I reckon.
mm-hmm.
Unless you got something else there.
I know what I'm doing for my next cooking video.
Banana pudding, people.
Mm-hmm. Which, too, I promised my brother yesterday I'd make him one. So, it works.
People, get your pen and paper. Philip, RTX, if he's still in here, get
He
your blue.
gone to bed.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to tell him to get his blue crayon that he had the other night. Write everything down with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving notes with a blue crayon.
That way you can take your notes. Yep. Anyway.
Golly, Rodney, do you ever stop? He's got 2 bee tree removals to do next weekend. I hope you get a chance to film some of it. I'd like to see that.
That man stayed busy there.
Yeah. I mean, he's at what, like 75 swarms and removals this year?
Mm-hmm. Well, what was he saying? Last weekend, he'll get to the point where he's going to have to.
He had no more room. I think he said he had 65 in his home yard, and he had nowhere else to put a beehive.
Well, that he does. He brings plenty of them to the house. He ain't got to worry about having to ever buy bees. That's for sure. Well, hey, Grayson.
Yeah, hey, Grayson. We're fixing to wrap it up, dude.
Yeah, buddy, but we appreciate you dropping by.
We do.
Everybody hollering at you right fast. There you go.
Necessary.
Well, he's ready to go to bed too.
Tonight he's throwing himself around in protest again. Literally, he has kicked every pillow and the blanket, wadded it all up in the floor.
That's y'all's dog.
Yeah.
But
Mm,
okay, we're gonna wrap it up.
yeah. I'm slowing down.
Yes.
My coffee's worn off completely.
We thank you much. Appreciate who was Robert. Thank you, brother, for the super chats and our members here.
Yeah.
Thank y'all very, very much.
We appreciate everybody.
We do. We sure do. Especially the endings. I enjoy the
Yeah.
beekeeping talks and all that, but whenever we go to derailing, we get into some good stories.
It's good laughs.
It is. But
It's
all right,
good
y'all.
laughs.
God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see y'all on the next one.
Yeah, I hope y'all have a good week.
Y'all take care. And don't want to push the button.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Nope. Bingo.